or a very poor idea, but we're currently out on the weighted walk overlooking the beautiful British sunset, so see what would happen and just break the third wall of going live for the first time. There's apparently one person watching, which is either me or someone who's actually joined, so I'm just gonna see if anyone joins in. If you are indeed a real person, then please let me know. Say hello in the chat or do something to let me know that I'm not alone on the edge of the golf course. We will find out. We'll let people come in and play around with the figures. We've got 4 people. Got some golf action going on behind. Yeah, we got somebody here. You're the first person to say hello. Hello, Gemma. We are taking a break at the top of the hill, overlooking some golf balls coming in over here. And I'm here to answer questions. So if you've got any questions, Gemma, or just updates from the day, 12 people. Here we go. Welcome to the live stream on the edge of the golf course. Greetings from Morocco. Greetings from a random British hill overlook. You're currently sat in a tree, by the way, as well. I've got my phone perched in this tree, but we're out here. Yo, Mike, #1 commenter. You can join me to see these golf balls going in the hole. Hopefully don't get hit. Tim, my man. Hello, everyone. I'm gonna put you back in the tree and yeah, give me something to talk about rather than just moving the camera around, because hopefully we can talk about something. Zato from Poland joining me. Everyone's getting in on the weighted walk action. I'm going to take a few questions and then hopefully take the phone off into the woods and just make this more a part of my everyday life. So if anyone can help me out with some kind of talking point, that'd be pretty useful. Otherwise, just doing a 20 kg weighted walk, I find that it puts me down into the earth and it's pretty grounding. Otherwise, we're going to end up watching these golf balls going in the hole. Hopefully you can see it. There's one down there and there's another one down here. How do we get off our phones more, Jordan? The addiction is real. So Mike asked me the question of how to get off our phones. Kind of ironic because this is the time where I should be off my phone, but actually I'm now finding ways to bring the tech. Yeah, look at this. Look at the golf. I think this is automatic. So it's moving on its own. Technology is bizarre. How do we find time to get off our phones? So I'm coming back online now on Friday and I divide my week in 2. So generally speaking, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I've now started doing no YouTube, no Instagram. And then on Thursday, I open up to my wonderful private clients. And on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I seemingly increasingly go all in with getting online. So today I've probably been voice noting people. I'm doing this live stream for the first time, the first ever live stream that I've done as well. So a bit of a threshold crossing, but generally speaking, when you know that your attention and your focus is worth more than your distraction, you'll lose the taste for being on your phone. I don't know if it's as simple as that for most people, but for me, when you really feel what's possible and you feel how good it feels to be focused, you just, you don't want to be on the screen, or maybe you just need to, I should probably lower this down from 20 kilograms to about 10 kilograms if I'm going to do a weighted walk and talk. Lessons learned for sure. But yeah, turn off your phone, do something better. That's my answer to that one. Next question's coming up. What is so great about trees? All you have to do is hug them and the stress goes away. Don't know about that. I mean, some pretty good birch wood out here. Don't think the hug is going to solve all of my trauma. There's some dog walkers coming up, so I'm just going to walk around here. There we go. On the path. Give them some privacy. Yeah, trees are pretty healing by themselves, but they don't do all the work. Next few comments coming in. Can you please explain, Gemma says, can you please explain what's the difference between the ego and the shadow? And how do we know whether it's our ego or shadow that's a problem? Great question. In my course, The Shadow Work Library, I break down shadow psychology into 3 distinct areas of interest. So you've got shadow behaviors, shadow territories, and shadow entities. Shadow territory could be an entire territory of life, for example, your romantic relationships, your business relationships, your relationship with money, maybe even your relationship with family. And then you have shadow entities that live in that shadow territory. For example, the inner child, generally speaking, lives in the shadow territory of family. The inner adolescent also lives in the territory of family, but likewise lives in the territory of peer groups and social relations, and also school, especially high school inner adolescent. And then of course you look at the shadow entities, the third aspect again, shadow territory, shadow entity, and the entity has a behavior. And this is what we typically think of in terms of symptom that we can track when we're doing our inner work. Let's imagine we're working with the inner child, or the shadow aspect of the inner child. You could track something like procrastination, that's the shadow symptom or the shadow behavior. Track it back to the shadow entity of the inner child. Realize that it's triggered in family situations or school situations, and then work with that energy to try and get your next big shortcut. I mean, I could go deeper into each of those topics, but if you're trying to differentiate between the ego and the shadow, work with that framework and see where it goes. Definitely needs to take its weight down if I'm going to talk and walk at the same time, so. Yeah, so 20 kilograms, 45 pounds. I'll put this in half next time. Normally I do about 20 kilograms for around an hour or so, hour and a half. I'm not holding up a phone and talking. Here we are. The wonderful overview. Take you a little bit closer. What a day for it. What a day for it. Next question. How do you find the balance between spirituality and delusion? I find there's a bit of delusion in spirituality which is healthy. It's a good question. How do you know if your spirituality is authentic or if you're actually a bit of a delusional sort? I find that authentic spirituality is quiet. It's small sensations, it's small signals from within. It's not a grand euphoria, it's not heavens breaking up, even though right now it's truly gorgeous. It's the simple signals. So if you're getting grand ideas about saving the world, or healing the world especially, or some kind of mission from God, but it seems a bit frenetic, a bit too intense, a bit too over the edge, it's likely it's a delusional fantasy. This is what we'd call spiritual grandiosity, or maybe a spiritual emergency. But if you get too big, too high, or otherwise too low, and this is the satanic hell realms, right? I'm going to go right over the golf course now, so yeah. No one's golfing, so I won't get taken out by a golf ball. Spiritually speaking, if you're too high or too low, you will feel that charge, you'll feel the difference. Everyday spirituality is in the middle ground. It is a burning bonfire that stays aflame rather than a firework or a full extinguishing. I think that's the best general advice I could give. If you're feeling too much, too often, all the time, it can be authentic, but it can be authenticity with a layer of delusion wrapped around it. It's your job to peel back that delusion and get to the core. Great question. Yep, Mike, I agree. Great views. How to manage thoughts. Please explain as you have read psychology. I don't try and manage my thoughts. I let my thoughts go where they need to go. I think the real work of psychology is, if you imagine that thoughts are flowers in the garden, then focus on healing the soil. Look back into your trauma, look at the deeper unresolved pollution inside of you, and your thoughts will be more beautiful by default. This is especially apparent if it comes to self-talk that is more negative, more hateful, or more judgmental towards others. Where did those thoughts come from? They came from within, and they come from without, potentially, but it's your soul. It's your soul inside that needs to be paid attention to. Next question. Greetings from Barcelona. Greetings. Hope everyone's enjoying this wonderful spontaneous walk. I've got 13% on my battery, so maybe another 5 minutes and I'm going to hop off, but this is the first live stream that I've ever done. learning lessons about how much weight I can take. We've got about 30 people in here right now, so welcome. You are making the history of watching the first live stream ever. I might professionalize this, I might make a studio setup and do something in the library, or I might keep it as more of a organic contrast so you get to experience what my day-to-day life is like. I usually do one of these more or less every day. I'll do a 30 to 90 minute weighted walk. I find it grounding, I find it calming. So I might keep it like this, but also I then need to do a balance between how much time is for me, how much time is for you. I think 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I could do this. We've just moved out of the way of the golfer's harm. So any final questions coming through? And thank you for your work. You're welcome. It truly is a pleasure of my life watching the pheasants go through the air. What a life. We're going to end up in these woods, take a few more questions, and then we're going to have to end because I'm on 11% battery. Love these comments. Look at these. Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. Would you recommend the Bible if I'm not a believer? Yes, I would. I grew up atheist. I'm not pure Christian, I'm not pure anything, but I grew up in a very anti-religious household, and I find that if you're not a believer and you have an agnostic tilt, which I think is most of the people who are interested in me, you'll get a lot more out of religious text because you haven't got the dogmatic conditioning stopping your brain and your soul from making original connections. Use your discernment. Squirrels in the woods, hopefully you can see them. I don't think you will be able to, but you might be able to see some squirrels. Yeah, read all the religious texts. How to keep boundaries in yourself? Fantastic question. We'll end it here. Got a few percentage left. And Nicole, I see you. Welcome to the live stream. How do you keep boundaries? Quick, sharp, simple answer. When you realize what you are, you will treat yourself better. And when you know how to treat yourself and you figured out the specifics of that process, it won't be difficult. Big things like drink and drugs, I cut those out 5.5 years ago when I had a moment and I realized just how much potential there was here, just how much beauty there was on the inside and how much impact there could be on the outside, and it just clicked. You don't need to convince yourself, and like I said earlier in the live stream, in terms of phone usage, you lose the taste for it. You lose the taste for negative behaviors, you lose the taste for self-destructive systems and repetitive, compulsive patterns, and it's just easy. Doesn't make it simple, doesn't make it reliable, but if you can be 80% consistent on 80% of your days, the boundaries start to become automatic, and fundamentally, it is about self-love. But masculine and feminine self-love, self-respect and self-compassion wedded together. Hopefully that answers the question. That is how I work with boundaries anyway. It's basically a righteous self-knowing. Actually, it's a good point. We'll go over to the overview. My YouTube boundary recently, so I'm on week 5 of no YouTube, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got a 12-year YouTube addiction, which I'm healing. And it was getting pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. It was getting pretty bad. I couldn't stop watching self-education. I couldn't stop learning about fitness and psychology and finances and everything in between. So about a month ago, I got on a call with my friend, one of my best friends, and said, hey bro, I need to make some accountability here. There should be better lighting for everyone as well. I need to make some accountability, I need to stop this, so I bought a second offline phone. I realized that I had the potential to do more with those 3 days per week, and it just clicked, and I'm happy to share that it was flawless. So 12 years of addiction. Some people might say YouTube addiction isn't an addiction. The sunset's gorgeous. Don't know if it's gonna come up, it's not gonna come up. It's not gonna come up. Yeah, when you know, you know. Pay attention, just pay attention. 5 weeks ago, I realized this is an issue, and it clicked. That boundary clicked. Flawless 5 weeks of no YouTube, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, deeper offline time than I thought possible, and it's the foundation for reading many, many books, making many videos for you and other people, and also creating a course, writing my own books in the future, foundational habits. Yeah, but boundaries built on self-love, but a deep self-love is what we're really aiming for. Final few questions now. Yeah, everyone get the books, I agree. It's good to hang out with everyone. Martin said he's quit smoking after 15 years with your help. What a champion. Absolute champion effort. Well done. I remember when I had my last cigarette, very unfortunate circumstance. I had a personal tragedy close to me. I lost someone that I cared about. They, yeah, I can't say the word on YouTube, but they did this to themselves. And that was my last cigarette. I realized in that moment that I still live and they don't. So I'm not going to pollute myself. And yet the sorrow was there. It was about 5 years ago. Yeah. So well done on quitting smoking. Your body deserves better, my friend. And you'll thank yourself in the future for it. Is that a red kite? It is. So these are the local birds of prey. They're similar to eagles, but not quite. They're more hawk-like. Hopefully you saw that. Again, the sunset hawks. I'm 18 and you're really inspiring. Just bought Ken Wilber's book, A Brief History of Everything. Fantastic choice. If you want to go deep with Ken Wilber, you will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. If you want to read deep transpersonal psychology, go for Ken Wilber and go for Michael Washburn. Also look at Psychosynthesis with Roberto Assagioli. Is that a hot air balloon? Holy shit. Never seen that. There's a balloon in the sky. You won't be able to see it. It's way too far away. You're definitely not going to be able to see it. There. Nice synchronicity. Nice synchronicity with hot air balloon on the first live stream. I think I'm going to have to end this though because I want to make sure it uploads and we're on less than 10% battery. So thank you for being here. I'd love to see in the chat if you enjoyed this, if there's something that I could refine. Obviously, get my breathing right with a lower weight, not the 20 kg, 45 pounds, but maybe half it for these live streams. But if I get a positive response, I might do a weekly come walk with me, answer some questions and develop a whole new skill set, because that is the secret to the game as a teacher. You have to do it for others and you do it for yourself. You develop your ability to speak and to move and to work with ideas, and it's intrinsically rewarding. So I'm pretty pumped up, especially after the recent Q&A videos. They were over an hour long. I think it's a new era of teaching for me. So let's open up a bit more to my private life and bring you into my actual world. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, I'll do a few more. Yeah, everyone in the chat, thank you. I'm gonna have to sign off before this phone dies, but read your books, get offline, and I will speak to you very soon. Or not too soon, maybe next week, maybe next Friday. We will see.